forget everything you thought you knew about the Salvage animatronics and their jump scares. I've always found the way they attack the player in FNAF 6 a little off. They just seem to slowly move across the table towards the player, and the same thing in the vent, they just appear. But what if these erratic movements aren't random at all, but a terrifying strategy that we've all completely missed? Get ready to unlock the hidden motives behind every lunge, lurch, step forward in a completely new light. You see, there's one thing different about this game compared to the others. You salvage the animatronics. Basically, it's an optional phase in which the player can either salvage or throw away the animatronics. These animatronics are Molten Freddy, Scrap Trap, Scrap Baby, and Lefty. And we're going to cover all 4 of them because there is a hidden meaning behind their jump scare, believe it or not. Hidden in their little brains of theirs. And don't worry, we're going to cover every single one of them. But let's start off with Lefty. And this is where things really start to kick off, because if you're unfamiliar with the salvage mechanic, you basically start off and Henry starts playing some audible prompts to the animatronic. The player then will moderness and afterwards fill out the salvage report. This is done by checking one of the boxes, yes, no, or unsure. You see, once the player actually puts down the salvage report, there's a chance that one of the animatronics may have moved. And there's 3 states here. The neutral state, where the animatronic begins the salvage, attentive, and hostile. And the player has to protect themselves, believe it or not, with a taser, which puts them back into their neutral state. Now, that bit of information there was crucial to understand how this all works, because these audio prompts seem to obviously provoke a response from the animatronic. But why would the animatronic want to attack you based on these audio prompts? It's always got me a little confused. And not only that, why are their attacks seemingly just random movements towards the player? There's not an actual attack animation. They just seem to move closer. And not only that, the animatronic can actually attack without even being in a hostile state when a specific audio cue unique to that animatronic is played. Basically, a massive trigger alert to that animatronic. Something is triggered inside of that animatronic, giving them some form of PTSD. They just attack immediately, forgetting all the rules of the game. So with that out of the way, let's move on to Lefty, or aka the puppet. If you're not aware, Lefty is literally an animatronic holding the puppet inside of it. It was designed to capture the puppet, trap her in this suit, so then Henry can basically set his daughter free. Or a weird way of doing it, but that's Henry's plan here. You see, Lefty's appearance could literally be linked to the puppet. It seems random at first, but perhaps it's a strategic attempt to isolate and observe. You see, we know canonically we play as Mike in FNAF 6. You know, Mike obviously being the son of William Afton, and Charlie, obviously the one who's in the puppet, who's now contained in Lefty, being the daughter of Henry. Now listen to this. This is the audio cue just before Lefty is about to attack the player. It's not very long, but listen to it in its entirety. Obviously that noise is coming from inside of Lefty. Now, is that the internal restraints winding themselves up to keep the puppet contained? Or is it the puppet attempting to escape, which causes Lefty to wake up and attack the player? Let's think about it here. In FNAF 2, we wind up the puppet's box to keep it subdued, to stop it from attacking us. But here, it almost sounds like the box is being wound up and then it attacks, not that it soothes the puppet in any shape or form. You see, the sensors in Lefty's suit have picked up that the puppet is starting to wake up. So what it does is start its subdue mechanisms. You know, just like in FNAF 2, starts to wind the puppet box up to put it back to sleep. Lefty's internal sensors and mechanisms start to do this to subdue the puppet once more. The only issue here is the puppet is becoming that aware and awake that it doesn't actually work, and it still attacks anyway, because Mike is sitting right in front of her, the son of William Afton, the one who killed her. She might not even be able to differentiate at this stage, because you also have to remember in FNAF 6, Mike is just a literal purple corpse after sister location. Remember, Ennard literally scoops him out, enters his corpse, wears him as a skin, and then leaves Mike. But Mike is obviously undead, but he's literally purple guy at this stage. So the puppet might be thinking, this is William Afton sat in front of me, and no manner of subdue mechanics, mechanisms are going to contain her to stop her from attacking him. That makes sense to me. But you know what doesn't make sense? The fact that Scrap Baby would willingly attack her brother across the table. That makes no sense. There is actually a voice line as well confirming that she remembers it's Mike, as opposed to in sister location where she says, I don't recognize you. But in FNAF 6, she actually says,
You're not who I expected to see.
So she knows it's her brother, right? But still attacks him? Something else is at play here. So let's examine Scrap Baby. Now, immediately, if you're unaware, Secret of the Mimic actually gave us answers as to why Scrap Baby looks the way she does. You know, why she's got a massive chainsaw arm now and rollerblades as opposed to her microphone and circus baby look. We know she combines with Enid, uses Mike's body, they leave Mike's body, and then she actually gets thrown out of Enid herself. At that point, she's probably just a jumbled, wired mess, and she needs a shell. It's always bugged me why she never went back to her original casing from Sister Location Bunker. And we know why that is, because 1, she wouldn't want to return to Sister Location, she's just escaped from there, and 2, she went to somewhere else, Chica's Party World. That is where she got her rollerblades, and that is where she got everything else. We know from Sister Location itself that Chica's Party World was actually a client of Baby's Entertainment and Rentals. It's found in the game files. That's why we assumed Chica was rented out to them. And Secret of the Mimic actually shows us Chica's early designs with the exact same rollerblades as Scrap Baby. Therefore, we can assume Baby would know of these Chica Party World locations because it's in her database. They're a client of theirs. She could go there, pick up the roller skates, all the abandoned scraps, and boom, that's how she becomes Scrap Baby. That tells us that situation, but it doesn't explain why she attacks her brother Mike across the table. So let's delve into it a bit deeper. So in order to do that, let's listen to her audio cue just before she's about to attack Mike. Now that to me sounds like some type of clanging, potentially her claws hitting against herself in kind of like an impatient mode. Doesn't really tell us too much though, but Scrap Baby's voice lines throughout FNAF 6 do tell us an awful lot. Hints to the fact that she knows it's Mike. I mean, she's subtly taunting him, referencing her and her father's bond numerous times. Nothing to do with Mike.
Now we can do what we were created to do and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy.
Almost as if she's trying to say, I was the favourite and me and our dad are going to finish all this. You are not even on our side type of job. Clearly painting a picture that is them versus him. For whatever reason, she doesn't like Mike. Might be something to do with the fact that he actually got their younger brother killed. Maybe? You see, these are personal attacks. The taunts, the direct confrontation. You could argue that her movements aren't just random jump scares either, but a deliberate method of intimidation and psychological warfare against her brother. All of this driving into one key thing here, and it's exactly what she says in the game itself to make her daddy proud. This vengeful jump scare style is hidden amongst all of this. I mean, for us to get to this stage, we've had to decipher everything up until this point, but on the surface, you'd think it's just a very simple jump scare. No. This is FNAF. You'd be very wrong. Which can bring me on to Afton's part in all of this. His jump scare, the meaning behind all of that. You see, something which is extremely interesting is Afton's audio cue. Have a listen to this. You see, at first I thought, oh, this makes sense. It's Afton's heart beating, right? You know, he's coming to life. He's going to attack us. That would make sense. But what if it's the other way around? I mean, this is Scrap Trap. Afton's heart isn't going to beat. He's been dead inside that suit for God knows how long, and he doesn't need any blood to pump if there's any corpse left inside of it. I mean, the heart is probably decomposed at this stage. It's not going to pump. No, I believe this actually to be Mike's heart pumping. He sat in front of his father. He probably knows this as well. And as time goes on and he starts asking these questions, filling out his checkboard, his heart starts pumping, and that's what wakes up Scrap Trap. He hears the heartbeat of his victim sat in front of him, the one he's been chasing for God knows how long, his son Mike. Mike himself has been chasing his father for God knows how long, and now he's sat in front of him. You telling me his heart isn't going to be pumping through his chest? Of course it is. So I believe this is Mike's heart, and Scrap Trap hears this, and that's what sets him off to attack. You see, the reason he doesn't attack outright is because this is Afton. His deep-seated malice is there, and his desire to prolong the suffering, not just end the game right there and then. He wants to prolong the suffering of all his victims, bringing it right back to the overarching narrative of the entire FNAF franchise, the chilling logic behind his madness. I mean, how sinister is this voice line to say to his kid?
You may not recognize me at first, but I assure you, that's still me.
all of this is fitting perfectly with Scrap Baby's voice lines. I mean, together they are playing psychological warfare in tandem. Almost makes you feel sorry for Mike, in honesty. And now there's only one left. That is Molten Freddy. This one has always confused me, especially the audio cue. Have a listen to this. At first, I kind of thought that sounded like spring locks springing out of place, you know, from Sister Location, where you're winding up the spring locks. Kind of sounds like that, but I thought, that doesn't make sense. This is Molten Freddy sat in front of us. What could that noise be? Then we know Molten Freddy is basically all interlocking plates. Could it be that these plates are now twitching in the anticipation of attacking young Mike sat in front of us? Also, we know Molten Freddy is a combined consciousness, you know, of the animatronics from Sister Location. There isn't just one animatronic in there or one soul, there's multiple. They would all have to combine their efforts. It's not just a jumbled mass of wires in there, it's a deliberate pack hunting strategy going on. This is what especially makes Molten Freddy deadly. I mean, their shared consciousness would play a part in influencing their aggressiveness, surely. And not only that, they'd all have to be in agreement that they would attack that person. And they clearly are all in agreement that they're going to attack Mike. Why? Potentially because they remember him from Sister Location. And not only that, they inhibited his body for a while, remember, as Ennard, so they're gonna know this zombified purple guy. And then it all hit me. Listening to his voice lines, you can clearly tell they're extremely glitchy. They're glitching out, jumping left, right, and center. This is obviously trying to tell us that they're not in the right frame of mind. They're all over the place. They glitch. They don't know what's going on, which would potentially lead into attacking Mike. At one point, it even says, "Oh, back together again," referencing obviously when they were inside of him as Ennard. You see, all of these attacks are deliberately rooted in something far deeper than just malfunctioning animatronics or salvage animatronics. They're all unique, and they hint back to their individual pasts, fractured identities, and the overarching narrative of FNAF for the entirety of the franchise. On the surface, you completely miss all of this, but each individual attack is weighted in so much lore and history. You've just got to dig deep for it, and that's exactly what we've done today. And it's exactly why the Salvage animatronics attacks are so differently to the other attacks and jump scares of the FNAF franchise. Well, to me personally. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps me to push this out to other FNAF fans and helps the channel grow. So please subscribe and hit the like button. And if you enjoyed this, you'll enjoy all my other videos on the channel. Go and check them out now. Massive thanks to the Fazbear Entertainment members who are on screen now. Lauren, Rena Fox, Amit Junatapia, Queen Bubbles, and our Twisted Fazbear CEOs, Rock Nigel, Penguin Lover 12, and Bubs Delicious. Thank you for being a valued member of the Fazbear team. As always, I'm Twisted Animatronic. Stay safe out there, superstars.